Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come, and our deliberation is so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Good afternoon, honorable members. I'm told by the clerk that we do not have quorum, and so I'll call upon our sergeant at arms to ring the bell for 10 minutes. Sergeant at arms, please, you shouldn't allow members to walk out. Honorable Brian, we need to follow our standing orders. Yes, but it's only whips who are allowed to do so. You may stop ringing the bell. Yeah, honorable members, I'm told that we have quorum, so we can start with today's business. Clerk, you can proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Proceed.
Order number 5, papers.
Proceed.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Under this one, we have Honorable Joshua Munga and Honorable Brian Kisila, respectively.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this opportunity as the member of County Assembly, Masinga Central Ward. Honorable Speaker, aware that Article 174 of the Constitution of Kenya provides that the objects of devolution are, among others, to provide social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services throughout Kenya, and to ensure equitable sharing of national and local resources throughout Kenya. Aware that this House approved the annual development plan for the financial year 2023-2024 on 6th June 2023, which gave the county a roadmap of the priority projects to be done on the current financial year. Aware that the current financial year is in its fourth and final quarter, and no development projects, except for the disputed desilting of 2 dams, has been initiated by the county government in Masinga Central Ward. Yet, substantial budgets have been allowed to such projects. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 41, Sub-Order 2C, I wish to seek a statement from the Chairperson Committee on Implementation on the following issues. 1. The status of all the projects meant for Masinga Central Ward in the current financial year as approved in the NDP for the financial year 2023-2024. 2. What measures the county government is doing to ensure the projects approved in the NDP for the financial year 2023-2024 are completed within the current financial year, noting that it is a constitutional requirement to ensure equitable sharing of county resources. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Joshua Mwonga. Honorable Brian Kisila.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Brian Kisila, MCA for Mwala. I'm seeking a statement on status of county machinery. Honorable Speaker, Article 174F of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 states that one of the objectives of devolution is to promote social and economic development and provisions of proximate, easily accessible services throughout Kenya. Further, the fourth schedule of the same constitution mandates the counties to deal with matters of county transport, including county roads. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting that this accessibility to be achieved, the county government procured graders, excavators, shovels, dozers, tippers, and trucks, and water bowsers, among other machineries for maintenance of rural roads, and budgets have been allocated annually for maintenance and fueling of this machinery. Aware that a good number of these machineries are grounded and have been parked at the county garage. Honorable Speaker, I wish to seek a statement on the following. A, list of all county machinery in working condition by make and type. B, list of all grounded county machinery by make, type, and their location, and state whether they are serviceable or obsolete. C, the amount required in servicing all the grounded serviceable machinery. D, the department's plan in ensuring that the grounded serviceable machinery are serviced and continue serving the intended purpose. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the departmental plan in disposing obsolete equipment and replacing them with new ones. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Brian. Before committing the first statement, maybe members could be willing to ventilate. Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think in addition to what the Honorable Member is seeking, also to establish, I think it will also be also good. And it
I
will-
hope you are ventilating on the first statement.
or the one
There
from-
was another statement.
no, it was on the second one.
Let's ventilate on the first one so that we may commit it to the relevant committee. Then the second one will come later. If at all there is a member willing to ventilate.
Okay, mine was on this one. Thank you.
Honorable Ndao.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Judas Ndao, the area member for Matu. Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate Honorable Mwanga for seeking this statement, even though he is seeking the statement when it's too late. Honorable Speaker, a financial year begins on 1st of July every year and ends on 30th June of the other year. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Mwanga is questioning to know how the projects which were captured in the NDP for Masinga Central, why were they not done according to the statement? And Honorable Speaker, I will wish to inform the member that apart from representing your people in this legislative house, you also have a duty to represent your people in offices where the projects are approved, they are allocated funds, and officers are sent to go and undertake the project. And I'm not informing Honorable Mwanga alone, Honorable Speaker. Let every member know that we have a present here, but every member has to be aggressive to ensure that whatever is in the document, he makes a follow-up. Even if you go to a bank and apply for a loan, you will be required to go and push for that loan to come out. So, Honorable Speaker, as we agree with the statement, I also disagree with one part which says the only project which were done in his ward are the disputed. Underline the word in disputed. The silting of 2 dams. Honorable Speaker, I feel that word is oppressive. It's oppressive in this manner. Honorable Speaker, every honorable member has roles that he or she is assigned to do. And one of the role is oversight. And Honorable Speaker, when a project is being undertaken in Ward A or in Ward B or whichever ward, the area member of that particular ward has a duty as a representative of the people to go where the project is being done to ensure the project is done as per the scope in the BQs. So, Honorable Speaker, in this statement I can say comfortably without any regret that Honorable Mwanga failed in his duties as an elected member of Masinga Central. If you keep off from what is happening in your ward and you come here to say you want to know, this statement may be replied in another financial year. It is a normal practice. You seek a statement here, it takes months. So now that is the reason why I was saying the timing is not proper. And I would wish to encourage my colleagues. It is very unfair. It is very unfair if the residents will be suffering because of a failure of the elected member. that will be very, very, very unfair. So, Honorable Speaker, that is all what I want to know, need to talk about, and let members kindly let us be serious with our work. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndao. Honorable Brian.
Mr. Speaker, I think Honorable Mwanga is within his right to seek this statement. However, I want to say one thing, that what is oversight? We need to understand what is oversight. If you sit back as an elected member and imagine that things are going to be done through autopilot, then you're not representing your people. Oversight is you are involved from day one to the last day. In fact, if a project is being done in my ward, there is the ADP, which is the public participation, when we get the projects. When the projects are identified, I, as a member of County Assembly for Mwala, I follow up to ensure that those projects which have been listed in the ADP have actually been factored in the budget. And number 3, when the project starts being implemented, I even go and ensure that the initial public participation is done, where the engineers of the county tell us the entire scope of works, including how much will be done. When Mheshimiwa Monga, and I have a lot of respect for him, when he says disputed dams, I sit in water committee and my chairman is here. We have not received any complaint on disputed dams. We have called the chief officer. We are yet to go as a committee to go and establish if there's any dams, how they have been done. It's in bad taste for Mheshimiwa Monga to start calling dams disputed. And can I tell you the truth? In my ward, my dams were done, I supervised, and I'm very happy with what is happening. If you sit back and wait for a rainy day for people to do your work, then you are going to have a very rough time with your electorate. What am I saying? I agree with him. He has a right to seek for the ADPs. But just like my leader has said, let him move a step further and realize he is not on holiday. He's been elected to represent those people who elected him. Let him make sure he follows up through. He follows the projects through. From inception to the end. Mr. Speaker, it's like having a woman and you're not taking care of her, and you just let her just stay like that, and you start complaining. Someone else takes the woman and then you start complaining. No, Mr. Speaker, we must take charge of the role which you are being given. So I agree with him. He has a right to seek the ADPs, but the only caveat which I found a bit interesting is this one of saying disputed. Where was he when the dams were being done? He's our first, as an assembly, he's our representative in his ward to ensure dams are being done correctly, even before the committees come. So I think I agree with him, but I agree with him with some reservations. Is he having any bad intentions when he starts telling us dams are disputed? Lastly, we are 2 months to the end of the financial year. 2 months to the end of the financial year. And you say the only thing which has been done in your ward are 2 disputed dams. Where have you been this year? The whole year will go happy. I can comfortably say I have got close to 6 projects in this financial year. I have followed them through, and following them through means I also find a way, a reasonable way of talking to the executive. Members, I was in the 2nd assembly, now I'm in the 3rd assembly. Those who choose the route to continue asking for projects in public barazas and funerals have it very rough. This is a place where we are seated. It is a place to ask for these projects, but at the same time, you must ask for them in a good, gentle manner from the executive itself. No demanding. You must find a good way of asking for those projects. So I kind of feel that, Mheshimiwa, yes, you are right, but please, you might need to change your tact this coming financial year and find out how come other wards projects are ongoing and yours is not ongoing. It's also, it's like a man with 2 wives. And some of us have 2 wives. If you have 2 wives and you normally go to a woman, the first wife, and is making noise, what happens? You will go to the second wife who is not making noise. Words are like wives. If you go and find there is a place where there is too much noise, you take off and you go to the ward where there is less noise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Brian. Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to appreciate those who have contributed, and I thank God that my friend Honorable Monga has realized where he's supposed to seek audience in terms of what is supposed to happen in Masinga. But at the same time, we should also not crucify him, because, Mr. Speaker, there is a famous Kamba saying that goes like that, Tenawa mbiti, nevalaya amukila. And if this is the appropriate time when Mheshimiwa has seen it good to come and seek answers in terms of what is happening in his ward, we should allow him. But maybe he can also clarify to the House what he means by disputed dams, because we only have dams that were done to satisfactory. And if it's almost a year when the dams were done across the 40 wards, if not, I think across 38, because there were 2 wards where the topography of the area could not allow. So 1 year later, that is when the honorable member is coming and arguing that they are disputed. So maybe, Mr. Speaker, you can give him to shed some light and maybe provide clarity in what aspect are they disputed. Is it a case of land dispute, where somebody is disputing that they were done in the wrong place? Or is it that water has refused to get into the dams? So he needs to provide some clarity. Also, I happen to sit in the education committee where he's a member. He has an ECD class that is ongoing, almost at 70%. So even if we want, and we looked at the report last week.
Mr. Kavi, just wait for the point of information.
Okay.
You may first be seated.
Mr. Speaker,
Is he informing me or
Yeah,
the
he is
other
informing
speakers?
I think I have been allowed to inform you.
Oh, you are
So you
informing.
get your seat, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, the ECD my good friend is talking about, it is a project of 2022-2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Monga. Honorable Kavi, you may proceed.
I think I'll also want to inform him also, the dams that he's talking about, they were also procured in the same financial year. So he cannot talk about some of the project that he wants to use to justify his case and ignore others which were also procured within the same period. Unless for his dams, unless the dams came after for him, because they were all procured at the same time. So even as we do our oversight work, let's also ensure that the information and the things that we present in the floor of this house are factual and genuine. Because if we bring politics into the house of this assembly, then probably we might miss the point. It is very correct, 100% correct for any member to seek answers pertaining to their area. But also we need to go an extra mile. Because even if the committee that is seeking answers too brings the report back here, as an elected member, the honorable member has a responsibility to make follow-up, because there is that role of representation. And that's why the people of Masinga Central, Kinanie, and the other 38 wards elected us. Because you not only represent them here, because they cannot walk to the water department and inquire on the issues pertaining their area. That's why they have an elected member who is supposed to walk across the 11 department and make an inquiry on the status of the project. Because if you only give the projects at the ADP and you don't make any follow-up, we have limited resources. So if as a member representing Kinanie, I choose to sit and wait for project to come, the honorable member for Mwala, Matu, Ekalakala, where you represent, Mr. Speaker, you will walk into those offices. And because of the limited nature of resources, you will take what will be there, and I'll be forced to wait. So we also need to wake up. Let's disturb. Let's make frequent trips to those departments so that we can get what is there, because we have limited resources and they will never be enough that people will walk around looking for people who want to project to come to their places. There is the spirit of equity, but the faster you move, the more you are able to push, then there is a high probability of your projects working in your area. For instance, I'll give an instance in Kinanie. There is a class that was given and it has been slow. I think in a week, I normally frequent the education department almost 3 times. And through that effort, I think in the next few weeks, the class will be completed. So giving the project, raising statements on this house is not enough. If we really want to help our people, we must go an extra mile. Because even the governor herself, she has a lot to learn the county. So she'll not be keen to walk around and looking which ward something has not been done. So it is us who interact with the people at the ground daily. So we must ensure what is supposed to come to our ward comes at the right time. But as I said, it is better late than never. So Mr. Speaker, I seek your support. Help the honorable member maybe to get some light on needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kavio. Honorable Mwoki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a few words that caught my attention, particularly that one of disputed, which I find so collective. Because when you say disputed dams, they were done in 40 wards. Which other one has disputed? In Masinga, we have never heard of them disputing, because there could be an organization or a collection of people from Masinga or elsewhere saying this one has not been done, or it has been done wrongly, and the like. So I wanted, if possible, our honorable member to withdraw that particular word and look for a better word to replace.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker. Point of information.
Point of
Yes,
information.
Mr. Speaker, unless the member did not get clearly the content of my statement. I'm talking about 2 dams in Masinga Central Ward, not in the whole county. That is what I wanted to inform him. Let him not talk about his ward or another ward. The statement is clear, and it is very clear, Mr. Speaker. It is talking about
they've
2
disputed,
disputed dams. And I stand to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
I exactly meant that particular word of disputing, and I'm saying it is a collective word. It may mean Ndidhini, we disputed. I want to go on record that we didn't dispute ours. Right? And that's all what I mean. Our honorable member, on different occasions you've been saying that your ward has more projects than others. Today, you are telling us you have fewer. I find a lot of contradiction in all this. If we were more straight and be factual, let us say what it is. If, for example, you have a dispensary, you have 2 dams, and I'm told Honorable Kabyu has already said there are 2 wards that never got any. And you got at least 2. You've got the nursery school, you are saying, you've got the dispensary, you have got, you should be clapping your hands and saying, hallelujah, at least I've got some. And say,
2023, 2024.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, if only you could go around your statement and ask, using the right words, we would understand it even more. We would be more categorical in answering that or contributing to your statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Musela. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I want to say, just like Mheshimiwa Brian, Mheshimiwa Mwanga of Masinga Central is within his rights to seek the statement. And nobody can dispute that or not give him that opportunity. However, we are talking about projects for 2023, 2024, if I understood him well. And the financial year is yet to end. Number 2, the honorable member who is seeking a statement seems to have a premeditated answer of what he wants. He's not on a fact-finding mission of goodwill. He is on a fact-finding. He has, I do not even know why he wants to waste the honorable time of the Committee of Implementation, because he already premeditated that the 2 dams are disputed. So he'd expect nothing else from the report. It has to have 2 dams that are disputed. Then the other thing that he has premeditated is that in his ward, in the financial year 2023, 24, 24, there's not going to be any other single development that has been done. So already he has answers, and he wants to drive the Committee of Implementation into that direction. So I am finding it so contradictory that you seem to have answers that first, the dam is disputed. Number 2, that by the end of June 30th, this financial year, no development will have done in your ward. Yet, then you seek the indulgence of the House and the Speaker that in the financial year, that 1, the status of all the projects meant for Masinga Ward in the current financial year as approved in the ADP for the financial year 2023-24. You want to establish the status. How would you want to establish the status when the year have not ended? For all the projects, why can't you just hold your horses, wait for the year to end, and then the report of the whole ADP is going to be brought in this House? Number 2, then even the question number 2, what we are seeking to get in the report, question number 2, cannot suffice since the financial year has not ended. I'll agree with the numerous speakers who have spoken before me. I think the right thing to do is to engage at departmental level to establish what is the status of this project as of now, so that if they are not doing anything, you push them. But to come and indulge the House at this stage is wrong. And also, but you are within your right. The other thing is, we would encourage also your attendance when we have statements for other members, because I noticed in the morning you were not in the house and we missed the quorum. So next, please, I encourage all of us to attend the plenary session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. And so the statement is committed to the Committee on Implementation and should respond on or before the 8th day of May 2024. You want to say after the ruling?
I just want to add something.
Unless you want now to ventilate on your statement now. No, you cannot. Honorable Brian, let's now ventilate on the second statement that was sought by Honorable Brian Kisila. Honorable Francis.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would want to thank Honorable Kisila for the status report that is seeking for the machinery that we are using in our county and that are available. Honorable Speaker, as we know, county machineries have for a while been going unmaintained, or delays have been surfacing, and this has been costing our county in the programs that we always want to undertake in our ground areas where we want to do our roads. It is important to note that this has also caused delays in our RRI programs that were supposed to be undertaken in the second phase of this year. And it is important that we get to understand what the assembly or as lawmakers, if they indeed we have a role to play in ensuring that if it's a budget requirement, we do it as an assembly so that we can have our roads, networks fully maintained and done in good times. It is important to note that when we have machinery breakdowns which are not taken care of, then at the end of the day, service delivery will be affected. So I hereby appreciate the idea that our Honorable Member Kisila has seen it of importance to have this statement sought. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Francis. Honorable Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also want to thank my brother and congratulate him because the statement he's seeking is not specific for Mal. In fact, the honorable member is very considerate. Is bringing a business which is going to tackle the entire county. So much, Miwa. Thank you very much. Point number 2, Honorable Speaker, the issues raised here are valid. I can see they are valid, and I'm very sure if we get the answers, the count will have no, the issue of roads being impassable, I'm very sure we will have, even if we are not going to complete it, we are going at least to reduce. The only challenge I have, Honorable Speaker, is item number D. Item number D, the Honorable Member is asking, he wants to know what the department plans to ensure that the grounded serviceable machineries. Honorable Speaker, as we contribute to this house, the electorates are listening to us. And if we use words which do not match what we intend to say, or what we are discussing about, then we will be messing the entire county, especially those who are the critics. Honorable Speaker, the word serviceable. If we talk about serviceable, if you take a motor vehicle for inspection, the motor vehicle inspector, if the vehicle meets all the requirements, the certificate you get will just say the vehicle is serviceable and roadworthy to be on road. Item number D is asking what the department is planning to ensure that the grounded serviceable. The word grounded serviceable. If a vehicle is serviceable, we cannot say it is grounded. This is a matter of language now. So, Honorable Speaker, Brian has good ideas, but I'm requesting that we delete the word serviceable. We just delete, we don't insert another word. We request to know what the department is ensuring, is planning to ensure that the grounded vehicles are serviced. I think that would be the best English. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. You want to clarify?
I can clarify. I have an ambulance in Jawango Health Center. It is not moving because it doesn't have tires and battery. I have consulted the department to buy me tires and battery. That is a grounded serviceable equipment. It is grounded, and I was explaining to you, Mheshimiwa. I have an ambulance in Jawango, which doesn't have tires and doesn't have battery. It is not moving. It is grounded but serviceable. If you put tires,
Point of information.
it will move. So if you want to change, you can.
Point of information to a point of information.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask if the honorable member is in order to address another honorable member. I think he should address the speaker. Thank
Honorable
you,
Brian, be
Mr.
advised.
Speaker.
I am well advised. Thank you, Mr. Mheshimiwa Ndwiki. I was answering him, but through the speaker. Grounded serviceable means the machinery is in good shape. If it is serviced, it can work. If a machine cannot be serviced, that is a grounded machine. So I was seeking those.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker. Point of information.
Yes.
Point of honorable.
I think the member was standing on just.
I just want to inform, since it's the order of the business, allow me to inform him.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, as you drive on our roads, if you have a vehicle with a worn out tire, the traffic officers will charge you, and your vehicle will not be allowed to be driven on our roads because of that worn out tire, whether it is one, whether it is two or three or four. Honorable member is misleading the House, telling us that there is an ambulance in Mwala which has got no tires and a battery and it is serviceable. That is misleading the House.
Honorable Francis Kavio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think my minority leader should not bring confusion in the House because the statement that the honorable member for Mwala is making is valid and correct in the context that is put in. Because if a vehicle is unable to move because of any particular mechanical issue, it is grounded. I think maybe it's because honorable member is doing direct translation from the mother tongue to English, but it is something that is possible because anytime a vehicle is not able to move, it can be termed as grounded. What he means by serviceable is that if the corrective measures is taken, that vehicle can be used again. So you can have a grounded vehicle and it's beyond. It cannot be salvaged. So I think that is correct. And what I just wanted to add on what the honorable member was requesting in the House is that apart from getting the list of the items that he has requested for, we also want to get a complete list of all machineries owned by the county, because on numerous occasions there have been allegations of that there are either existing staff members or people who have left, but to date they still have vehicles. So if we can get a list of all the machineries that have ever been procured by the county, it will help us to perform an audit to establish, apart from these vehicles that are obsolete, that needs to be disposed, those are the ones which are serviceable, and even the ones that are still operational. That list will help us to have a checklist. So if there is a vehicle that is appearing on that list, it is not grounded, it is not available, and it was not disposed, then that will give us a room for us to do an audit and establish, after that vehicle was bought, where did it disappear to? Because those vehicles are supposed to serve the people of Machakos, and it's not an individual. So I think it's something that we can add onto the request that was made by the honorable member, so that we also make recoveries if there are vehicles that are not being used for the intended service that they were procured for, because any machinery or equipment is supposed to be serving and delivering service to the people of Machakos. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Francis. Honorable Moke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it is good for me to comment on this, and in particular because it's touching on my Committee of Transport. One, I wanted maybe, Mr. Speaker, either I get clarification from the statement seeker what machinery he meant. Is it the ones for the transport or the machinery owned by the county? Because here he says county machinery. That is including the tractors, the ones that we use for farming, yes. So that we are specific to the questions and the answers that he is seeking. But moving, because I can see here is a little more specific to the machinery or plant that is owned by the transport.
Yes, Honorable Brian, maybe you can clarify.
Yes, I can, and I want him to read. The statement is very specific on county government. It procured graders, excavators, shovels, dozers, tippers, and water bulldozers, among other things, for maintenance of rural roads. Tractors don't maintain rural roads. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say that your heading, it talks of county machinery, and machinery is collective. County machinery is collective. But I'm happy that you are seeking that. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Because this is an information that we already have in the department, in the committee, that we did the same, and I'm sure they are going to give you that information very fast, as opposed to a lot of bother in this. I'm sure they are going to do that. But I was just saying, it is also good to see, instead of you asking for only the ones that are grounded, working, serviceable, and the like, why don't we get an audit report of all the machinery that are owned by the county government of Machakos that are used for is it used for construction? That would be more specific to the point. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Moke. Honorable Monga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to start by assuring the mover, the seeker of the statement, that I'm not going to punch any horse to his statement like as indeed to my statement. Neither am I going to tell him to move to the Department of Transport for these answers, Mr. Speaker. But I want to say this is a very good statement for us to know where we are as a county in terms of equipments. And Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank the seeker of the motion because
Statement.
seeker of the statement. I want to thank him and say the issue which has been raised by Honorable Kavio for Chumbi, it is true. Actually, from where I sit, I even know some vehicles which are bought in the first term of this government, that is 2013, after the inception of or promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. And sorry, I'm forgetting what I was trying to say. This is what I wanted to say, Mr. Speaker. Sorry, I'm back to my senses. You know these people and raised.
Address honorable.
These honorable members, that is Honorable Kisida, the leader of minority, the majority leader, they had ganged up to hit me on my statement, and I was not in my senses, but now I'm in my senses, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say it is true that we have county vehicles which were bought even in 2013 to 2017, and to date, these vehicles have not been returned. Yeah, there are some people who are still using this vehicle and are known. So this statement, and on this, Mr. Speaker, some members, like myself, we also know of
Point of
some
order, Honorable Speaker.
pieces,
Point of order.
parcels of land.
Point of order,
Mr.
Honorable Monga. Just allow the
Yes. Honorable Speaker, is it in order for Honorable Monga to allege that there's vehicles which are in custody of some people and they have not returned to the government? Is it in order to allege that and he cannot substantiate? In case one has to allege, he or she has a duty and obligation to substantiate his statement. So I want you to make a ruling. I request you to make a ruling whether it's in order to allege and fail to substantiate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, before you make the ruling, I think the same issue has been raised by Honorable Kavio, and he has not raised any issue. I don't know why.
Honorable Monga, just respond to maybe what the member has requested.
Mr. Speaker, allow me not to respond to him, but finish what I was trying to say.
Then you need to withdraw that if you cannot substantiate.
But Mr. Speaker, why? And another member and also raised the same issue. And before I raised the issue, I quoted his speech, Mr. Speaker. What is wrong with that?
The member stood on a point of order, Honorable Monga, and I think it's
Anyway,
prudent. Maybe
Mr. Speaker, I do withdraw.
I believe you have evidence.
I do withdraw.
Okay.
I've
Can-
withdrawn the statement.
Proceed. Then
But
you can
that
proceed.
remains the fact. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mulinge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I start by congratulating my chairman, Honorable Kisila, for bringing a very important statement. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the mover of the statement is being informed by the challenges we are facing to address the problems in our wards because of bad roads. And Mr. Speaker, last time, the county had hired graders, shovels from National Youth Service. And the reason why they did so, it is because we have a lot of machineries in our garage, and the machineries, they are not working. They are not in good condition. And Mr. Speaker, the essence of having the machineries was to cut down the cost of grading our roads, and was again to give efficiency of services by grading the roads and all sorts of manner. And Mr. Speaker, this statement, it is very important. And we should take this statement with a lot of seriousness, because we had a program of grading roads in all the wards. And most of the wards was not graded because of lack of machineries to do so. So I support the statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Molinga. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the sake of statement, particularly if you remember yesterday, for those of us who were in, when the chair of budget was submitting his report, somewhere along the way he said that the county is going to dispose of assets to a tune of 100 million. I fear some of these assets that could be disposed could be a machinery that needs a tire, a machinery that needs a starter, a machinery that needs a battery. So I think the Honorable Brian Kisila might, what he probably could get as an answer might rescue the county from losing a good machinery, because maybe some people have decided it's grounded. So I think the statement he's seeking will come in handy, and I hope this House, allocate the shortest time possible for the statement to come in, so that we see whether it could rescue some of the machinery that the county may be needing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nicholas. And so the statement is committed to the Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee to respond on or before the 8th day of May 2024. Clerk, we may proceed.
Order number 8, motion. Approval of motion on establishment of youth centers and sports incubation centers.
And at this one we have Honorable Anastasia Mutevu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The mover of the motion is indisposed, and she's requesting for the motion to be deferred to another time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Then we will defer the motion back to House business for reballoting for another day. And so, honorable members, the House adjourns to Tuesday, 23rd April 2024 at 10 a.m.